Welcome to the Severe Cinema Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Kelly. And together we are Severe Cinema, which we just said when we began this. Fuck. Anyway, tonight we are discussing Netflix's original movie Bird Box, which, really weird title to a movie. It made perfect sense when you watch the movie, which... Spoiler alert, by the way. If you're watching this, we will be talking about and reviewing the movie. You'll hear some spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, come watch this after you've seen it. Or if you like having things spoiled for you, then we're probably related.
Anyway. Bird Box is a sci-fi action thriller set in the Lord of the Rings universe. With lots of, I can't keep it up.
I was like, oh boy, here we go. You
started nodding too, like. But I'm
yes, it
in
is.
your head.
Yes,
you were like,
yes, it is.
Wait a second.
Wait, where's he going with this? He's. Pardon me. We need to have an. It's not fucking that at all. You said you watched this.
So we had 3, and once you finished talking about spoilers, said like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Right. Peace. So what was it? Oh yeah, Bird Box. When people first started asking me, like, have you seen Bird Box yet? First of all, didn't know it was a thing. I have a Netflix account, but I had been watching King of the Hill on Hulu, to be completely honest. Which I'm almost done with, by the way.
About damn time.
I'm like season 12, episode 20. There's like 13 seasons. I'm like right there. But
13 seasons of King of the Hill?
King of the Hill.
Holy shiza.
I'm starting season 13 soon. I'm almost there. So, any slut. So, have you watched Bird Box? Have you watched Bird Box? I really like it. Bird Box. It's good. Bird Box. I'm like, what in the fuck is Bird Box? Because this already does not sound like anything I'm going to be interested in, based on the title. And I was right. It's a stupid title, but it does play in the movie because they have the little fucking parakeets in a box that would definitely super be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason for them to be alive. I just want to start out by saying that, first of all. Like, that was one of the things that bothered me the most. So...
You mean for the trip? Like, taking them with them in the box?
Yes.
You mean, okay.
I don't think that the birds would have survived that trip.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm full of shit. I've never owned a bird because I'm not a weirdo. And
how do you think they would have died?
I don't know. Properly? So I have a hard time believing that you can keep 3 winged animals in a box that was definitely smaller than like a shoebox that I bring home. I have big feet. So a small shoebox for like 3 winged animals that I assume like need to eat and crap several times a day. Like, from what I remember when my crazy grandma had a bird, like it always had to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing didn't eat for like 3 days, and like their wings didn't atrophy or anything. Like, they just started fucking flying as soon as they got to the place. And I don't know enough about birds. If anybody watches this that knows about birds, can you stick 3 birds in a very small box and not feed them for 3 days and they'll be okay?
And that's if they didn't get smashed by body weight.
Right. Or when their boat new flipped over in the water and
drown
and everything got all wet. Like, did they hold their breath during the time that they were underwater before they turned up on the shore? Like, how did any of that work?
Is this going to be one of those podcasts where you're on your phone?
I sure as fuck hope so. To be honest.
Dang. Then.
You should know by now that I'm always on my phone with fans and responding to tweets and shit.
So this is going to be the Ryan podcast then.
Take it away.
Welcome, everybody, as in nobody watching.
That was terrible. I'll take over now. No, I think you could probably handle an episode of the podcast by yourself at some point.
Well, considering... Well, wait, never mind. That doesn't apply.
Were you going to say, like, you streaming?
No, because I've done a podcast by myself, but I wasn't by myself.
Yeah.
That's not even what you were trying to say, so I stopped myself.
Yeah, in the event of my major illness or something, I bet you could keep this going.
Oh, that is what you meant. I thought like if you left the room for half an hour or something.
Oh, no. No, that's a good idea, though. I could go get a sandwich or
Oh, yeah, you are
something.
hungry.
I am pretty hungry. I just got a notification that Severe Cinema is live.
Oh, good.
Just so you know.
I was wondering.
Right. Okay. So let's start with let's just start where I want to end up, which is general overview. Like, what did you think about Bird Box? How did you feel about it overall?
I liked it. I thought it was well executed, well written, and well acted. I thought it was hilarious that Sandra Bullock is like 53 or something, and she plays like a 35-year-old.
Well, she looks exactly as old as she did in Speed when she was like 28.
Yeah. Like Patrick Stewart, when you reach max level, you stop leveling.
Right.
So that's why Patrick Stewart looks the same for the past 30 years.
And Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah. And Keanu Reeves smokes. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
But he also works out like a freaking thing that works out a lot. I don't know. I'm bad at analogies today. I don't know. What's something that works out a lot? A horse? A donkey. Donkeys work a lot. He works out like an ass. There we go. That'll work.
Do you think he works his ass out? Like his glutes?
Well, probably. There's no way he doesn't do squats. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
This is awkward. You know who should have been in this movie? Keanu Reeves. Dude, I just want to see the Bird Box monster kill John Wick's dog.
Oh, and then
And then a blindfolded John Wick just kick whatever his ass is. Fucking destroys it. Somebody write me a fan fiction. A good one.
Somebody.
None of that erotic shit. Maybe a
Well,
little.
hang on.
Maybe a little
Hang on
erotic
now.
shit. Hold on, backpedal. Oh shit. Okay, so you stopped at. I think it's funny that Sandra Bullock played like a 38-year-old-ish woman, but she's really like 53 or so. Mm-hmm. And that's about where you left off in your
still hot
review.
And so I liked. Man, we were just like killing it today. People jumping in like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
We're early on, man. We're early on. Less than 10 minutes.
It's always like this. I liked that it wasn't cliche. The only thing I didn't like about it was that there wasn't enough info on the monsters, like the thing that the threat. And so I'm just like some people that doesn't bother them, but for me, I want to know what the fuck it is, why it's here, the science behind it, if there is, or the magic behind it. That's the stuff I want to know. Like, for me, the film would have been that much more satisfying at the end had all that stuff been revealed. But that's what I thought of the movie. What did you think of it?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that last part because I want to talk about that. So I'm going to give my like overview and whatnot, but remind me if I forget that I want to talk specifically about that last part. So overall, I liked it. I'm on the spectrum because people are very divided about this movie.
Okay.
I'm on the spectrum that I did like this movie. Mm-hmm. But I didn't like everything about it.
Okay.
So for me, I think, how do I explain this? So the parts that had to do specifically with the kids, I found the most thrilling. And I don't know if it's because I'm a parent or whatever other garbage, I don't know. But when the kids were in danger, when the little girl was walking off in the middle of the fucking woods, when the kids were in danger of taking off their blindfolds, during those tense moments, that is when I was the most on edge. There you go. I was on edge. I was, oh my god, no! Like this little girl, she's so cute. She's gonna like. It's the kind of shit that like tugged at my heartstrings. Like they.
Thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you. They were the parts that made me like, oh my god, like what if that was my kid? Like what if that was like as a parent? There were a couple of times in this movie where I straight up fucking like tears. I had actual tears during a couple parts of the movie, and they had only to do with the fact that the kids were doing shit. Do you know what a security ID card that's attached to a lanyard is?
Card hats.
Card thats.
Oh, card.
Do you know what a security ID card that's attached to a lanyard is? Is a question that we're getting in the chat for you YouTube people that don't know what this is.
Is this going to be a joke?
Like maybe a terrible pun?
Do you have an answer? I don't.
Do you know what a security ID? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know what it is. Tell us what it is. But like I was saying, it's the parts where the kids were in danger or the kids were being interacted with or whatnot. Those are the parts that had me in suspense, that tugged at my heartstrings and made me feel feelings. The rest of the movie, I just was kind of angry. I was like, man, what? I was like, everybody. I was like, man, fuck this guy. This guy's stupid. This is a cliched trope. Of course, there's one guy that is, this person falls in love with this dude. This person falls in love with this dude. Of course, it's the end of the world. These people are going to bang. Of course, you have the one asshole out of the group like you do in every apocalypse movie. There's one asshole, and this guy was the asshole. And, like, granted, they weren't full cliches. The dude that was an asshole, like, I was actually able to feel for him and understand his level a little bit.
The guy whose house it was?
No, that was the Jurassic Park guy that died strapped to the chair watching the CCTV stuff. The gay guy. Oh, he was in the house. That was his house.
B.D. Wong.
Yes. That was whose house we were in. The asshole was John Malkovich.
Okay.
Government official is going to tell us what a security ID card that's attached to a lanyard is.
Indeed.
The
government official's not working right now.
Nope. Well, he might be working, but he's not getting paid.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sorry about that, by the way. I wish that weren't the case for you. I hope you get your bills paid. So I liked it. The part with the kids tugged at my heartstrings, all that shit. Man, a security ID card that's attached to a lanyard is a card that's a UD, which is vertical, which has my photo, name, agency, blood type, which is AB, an access code, and a golden chip that's inserted.
All right.
Excellent, my man.
So
I'm glad to hear it, if nothing else.
I think we're going to need some context and or relevance help.
And some whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, well, cheers myself.
I didn't see.
Let's
do it.
All right.
Boom.
Any whore. I watched this film as well, and I enjoyed the snow days. Enjoyed the snow days.
Are you saying...
like your time out of work as a government official? Those kind of snow days?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Because I don't remember any snow days in the movie. Fuck if I remember. So the last thing that you mentioned that I wanted to talk about.
Coffee.
Which was... what, is it strong?
No, like coffee after whiskey is weird.
I want to try coffee in whiskey, or vice versa.
You've got both right there.
Well, not right now. Oh. Right now, later. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. This is a bad day for a podcast. My brain is all over the... what? So...
it's the hunger.
It must be. I need a Snickers.
Yeah, you're turning into a diva.
Oh, God. No, I'm not. Please.
Okay, so...
no snow days as in real life in D.C. Oh, because it's snowing a lot in D.C.
Okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, right now, later. Not right now. I'm for real, not for play. So the last thing that you mentioned during your review was, remind me. It was the thing I told you to remind me so we could talk about it.
And I had no intention of reminding him.
Well, no, but you agreed nonetheless.
I did.
So you basically lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting off on a tangent here again. I want to talk about this. What the fuck was it?
Was it have something to do with cliches?
No.
Did it have to do with Sandra Bullock?
I remember. So your one problem with the movie.
Yeah.
Your one problem with the movie was that you had no idea what was going on. Like, as far as the science behind it, if it was aliens, if it was what the actual threat was.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, I knew what was going on, but I wanted to know more about
the danger.
The demons or whatever
right.
they were.
And this is where I disagree. Because almost everyone, if not everyone, I could be remembering it wrong, that I've talked to that has enjoyed this movie, that was their one qualm with it.
Okay.
That was their one problem with it. I don't have that problem. And my opinion is this. I feel like that would just be pandering. So this story was specifically written to show all of us this little slice, to show us just this family and this stuff that was just happening to this one person. That's what the story's about. The story is not about the demons or the aliens or any of that. Sandra Bullock, throughout the entire movie, she doesn't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know if it's a demon, an alien. She doesn't know the science. The science doesn't play into the story because the character we care about and the character we're watching has no clue. We're just watching that little slice of it. So for me, if at the end of the movie or throughout the movie, in any way, they started just inserting, like, here's what this danger is, here's where the demons came from, to me that's just pandering. That's just somebody saying, our audience is going to want to know more, let's just shove information in their faces. It has nothing to do with the story. It has nothing to do with the story we're trying to tell, but let's just shove this in their faces anyway, because people will be happier that way. And I'm okay with not getting that information, because it's not part of the story I was told. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense, and and I get that is what some people would prefer when they watch a movie. For me, it was enough of personal preference. I wanted to know more. I wanted it to be like Lost at the end.
Okay.
Like the series Lost, where you find out everything, and and everything is crystal clear on why everything happened. But man, I'm kind of a strange bird when it comes to.
So you're not wrong. Like, I don't feel like your opinion is invalid whatsoever, because in a way I agree with you. Let me specify that. I would like to know more. I would like to have known what the demons were and stuff like that, but not knowing didn't change my likeness of the movie whatsoever. I didn't like it less because I didn't find out, or like it more because I didn't find out. It didn't affect how much I liked the movie at all. Of course, I do wish I knew what the demons were and if they were demons or if they were whatever, but it didn't make me like it less that I didn't know. And I understand what you mean by the situation with Lost. The reason why Lost is different is because Lost was several seasons full of several different situations, and it wasn't just this one story. It wasn't just Sandra Bullock's little slice of life and then the end of the movie. If we had like a 15 minutes at the end of this movie to tie everything in, it wouldn't have added to the actual movie at all. It would have made you feel more satisfied because you knew what was going on.
So it wouldn't have added it for me.
Right. But it wouldn't have added anything to the actual story.
They can't please everybody.
Right.
All right. So
what is government officials saying? What if it was the time when 5 billion years passed and the sun was starting to expand, but it still wouldn't make sense? I don't really know. What if it was the inevitable heat death of the universe? And that's all it was, is people stepped outside and they took off their blindfold and they saw the sun and it like melted part of their eyes and they wanted to kill themselves. I just made that up. That's probably some bullshit.
It would look different if it was that.
So what if, since we're playing what ifs, so black guy that died in the grocery store to save everybody.
Yeah, that worked there previously.
Yep, that had worked there previously. So he had been studying all this shit because, of course, that's another cliche. There's one guy that happens to be in this group that we're hearing about that happens to have an idea of what this shit is that's going on. Whereas, more realistically, nobody in the group would have any fucking clue what's going on and everybody would die. That's much more realistic. But we're talking about a specific story, and that's fine. So, black dude actually knows what this shit is. Nobody takes him seriously because he read about it on the internet. But what he was saying was that this was basically the actual apocalypse. Like, this was this was hand of God. This was God saying, we need a fresh start and kill everybody on the planet. He did it before with some floods. We're going to do it this time with, if they look outside, my invisible demons will make them kill themselves. So instead of them all drowning, they just kill themselves. And then when not everybody killed themselves, God is trying to be creative. He didn't just smite them. So he made some people that were more immune to it and could try to get other people to kill themselves, which are the crazy people. It was probably God.
Man.
Because that's what the black dude was saying.
That's mean.
Well, yeah, it's God. He's an asshole. Which, if you're religious and you're watching this right now, I want to go ahead and say, read the Bible. God's an asshole. I've read it. I've read it from beginning to end.
Government official is appalled.
He is a huge asshole. Whoa. No, I don't think it's appalled. I think he's whoa at my theory. Like, whoa, what if it's blah, blah, blah. We'll see what he has to say. But I feel like that was about my theory. He could also be like, okay, look, God is the nicest guy that's ever been God.
And now it's a religious podcast or a religious debate podcast.
We're not debating anything. I made a statement.
No,
oh, yes, the theory.
Okay.
Told you, Saurus Rex. Anyway, so you honestly feel like if they would have... Sorry. We got retweeted. I'm sorry that I looked at my phone to find that information out, though.
I don't give a shit.
I know you don't. I'm just fucking with you. Do you honestly, deep down and truly feel like it would have added real value to you?
Oh, yes.
To know that information, even if it was just thrown in at the end?
100%.
Okay. And that's totally fine. I can't say for sure that it wouldn't have for me, but I'm so okay with it having not been in there, I don't think it would have. The Cloverfield movies. Have you ever seen any of them besides just the one?
No, just the first one.
But you liked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were cool not knowing everything? But you kind of... Was it the same situation?
Yeah.
Where you still liked it, but you wish you would have had more
I want
info?
to know why the alien was there, why he's so pissed off at everybody.
Well, if you
and
ever...
why he was invincible.
If you ever come over to my house for a movie, we'll watch the Cloverfield series first.
Okay.
Because I've only ever seen the first one, but I know some things about the second and third.
Okay.
And apparently people are just like batshit about the lore in Cloverfield. There's like stories and shit that people write. Maybe if half the information was sent with a cliffhanger, probably.
So that would have been fine too. If there was like a hint that there was going to be more, and another movie, I'd be 100% okay with that too.
Yeah.
But not just end. You don't know jack shit still.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying that that's the wrong way to do a movie. For me, I just would have wanted to know everything.
And you can rest assured that you're not the only one that feels that way. I've heard that from several people, that they would have preferred that. So I get that for sure.
So government official wants to know how we know that the Cloverfield monster is an alien. We don't.
We don't. Now I could throw out some pandering bullshit about how even if it's a demon, technically it's an alien because it's not from here. But that's just speculation. For all we know, it could be the happening situation, and the trees could be doing this to everybody.
Production costs, as in
like
Bird Box, they ended it without revealing anything because we're out of money.
No.
Is that what you're saying, government official?
If that is what you're saying, I'm going to go ahead and disagree. Netflix is in debt by a lot of money because they don't have not enough money. They have enough money to make whatever the movie they want. It does make me wonder if they're going to have a second one, though.
Where they fight back.
And what would happen? Like, do they fight back? Like, do the blind people, like, take up holy water and, like, bow staffs and just go kick ass? Or...
bow staffs.
Which, that's something that I remember thinking while watching the movie. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I literally remember thinking, what about the blind people? Like, what about the...
I literally didn't think about the blind people until I saw the thing, School for the Blind.
Yeah. It was maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way through, but it was well before they got to the end. I was like, what about all the blind people? And then, of course, like, something else happened, and it immediately went out of my head. I didn't focus on it too long, but I was like, what?
All right. Well, so maybe this will help you understand my position a little better. All right. So B.D. Wong comes up with the idea. Okay, I'll just look at one through the security camera and see. And so it was still able to
Get him.
You know, get into his brain through the fucking photons through the fucking technology.
Right.
So that right there made me want to know more. Like, okay, how did I do that?
Right.
So how is what's the process here? Like,
what are the rules?
Yeah. What are the rules? When that happened, I really, really, really wanted to know what the rules were.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm immensely curious about it.
Okay.
It missing from the movie just didn't take away from the movie for me. I'm still immensely curious about it, and if there like is a second movie, I'll really hope that they put it in there because I am immensely curious about what are the fucking rules. So like, if I'm partially blind and I just see a silhouette, is there something to see a silhouette of, or is the creature really super duper invisible? And if I happen to look at this invisible thing, like, what are the fucking rules? What if you can't see them at night? Like, what if it's super dark outside but my eyes are open and I have full vision? Like, I want to know this shit too.
Have you seen the movie? I want to say it's Arrival.
I have seen Arrival.
Now, is just so that I have the title correct, that is the one where the aliens come down and they learn how they like spray paint their language.
Yeah, she has to like teach them language so that she can understand what they're saying.
So that is Arrival then. Okay.
Yep, that's Arrival.
So I was
that movie.
Pretty happy with the amount of information given on that one. So you remember, like they kind of revealed stuff at the end. So I would have.
It did kind of tie it together at the end a little bit, and it was kind of I really liked that movie, and I really liked the ending.
I did too, and so that would have been enough for me. Like that small amount of explanation would have been enough for me.
Just a little bit of a wrap up for you would have really solidified it.
Yep. You betcha.
Okay. Well, here's to hoping that there's a second one, and they continue on and follow up. Though I seriously don't know what it would be. Like, you know what would be cool? If the Sandra Bullock storyline was done, and we see the Bird Box timeline or whatever from somebody else's point of view. Not even in that group. Like somebody else in a different fucking state.
Or country.
Going through, like, with subtitles. Somebody from, like, Norwegia or something.
Ooh.
Not Switzerland or Norway or anywhere. Norwegia, specifically. Or Canada.
Full of Canadians.
Yep. But no, I think that would be cool to see, like, same event, kind of like a Cloverfield thing. See the same event from multiple points of view across different movies, and then have a little bit more tied in as you go. A little bit more information with each movie.
Is that what
you're welcome, Netflix? Holy shit, that's a good idea.
Is that what the other Cloverfields are? The same event, but
different points of view. And then I think the Cloverfield Paradox, which is the new one that was a Netflix original. I'm pretty sure it was a prequel to the other two. If I'm remembering right, I'm pretty sure it's a prequel to the other two. And And so it's like leading up to that event that originally happens in Cloverfield. And it ties in the what and where and why and what it is and stuff like that, as far as I know. Like I said, I've only seen the first one, but I know some things about the second and third.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch those.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch those. That's what I'm saying. And I still need to watch Aliens.
Oh, yes. Government official. Have you seen Aliens from 1986 and Alien Resurrection from 1999? You're going to be immortalized in the YouTube video, by the way.
You are, by the way. Since we're talking to and about you, you will be on the YouTube video when we post the recording of this podcast.
And his follow notification is going to show his username.
It will.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it. I hope I've got to be one of the only people that's never seen Aliens.
I think that people your age, or there's quite a few people your age and younger who haven't.
You know, you're only like 6 or 7 years older than me. That's not that many.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. Never mind.
So Aliens, that's the good one, right? That's the one you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I should watch the plural.
It's got the dude from the sitcom. It's not Designing Women. Paul Reiser is in it.
Paul Reiser. Oh yeah, that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Paul Reiser. And Bill Paxton. I love Bill Paxton.
Yep. Bill Paxton. Game over, man. Game over. That's where that comes from. That movie.
Shit.
Yeah.
I love Bill Paxton.
We lost a government official.
Oh, that's okay.
He might be back. There's
okay, sweet. Okay. If this is controversial to anybody watching this, I'm sorry. It was pretty controversial when I said that I'd never seen Aliens as it is, but I've never liked Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, that is controversial. But no,
not because she's a bad actress at all.
You're your own person.
I'm not saying that Sigourney Weaver's a bad actress. I'm just not a fan of hers. You know how every once in a while a movie comes out and your immediate thought is, it has this person in it, I'm going to see it.
Okay,
before you know anything about it?
Yep.
Sigourney Weaver's nowhere even on that radar for me.
Okay.
Like, I don't care whether or not she's in a movie because I don't care about her as an actress. I've never been a fan of hers.
Maybe if you watch Aliens.
Maybe I will. I don't dislike her. I also won't not see a movie because she's in it by any means. I don't know. To me, I don't like her.
What year was Aliens? Was
86.
86? Okay, so that's right. Okay.
The year before I was born.
Okay.
But I also don't think that you would have saw it when it just came out because you would have been 8.
I saw it when it no, I did. Yeah. I did.
When you were 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was 6.
6?
I was born in 1980, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was mathing way wrong.
Or I was probably 5. But I think I saw it when I was 6 though. Or 7.
But surely you watched it again later?
Oh yeah,
time or two?
like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still holds up?
Oh man, it's so good.
Man, I want to watch it. Come the fuck over to my
So
house.
good.
Fuck.
So, all right, so there's a thing. Sigourney Weaver is the main what's the good guy in the movie? Protagonist. Okay.
Yep.
So that's her. And so I just wanted to talk about outrage culture for just a moment.
Outrage culture.
Yeah.
This is my first hearing about this. I'm ready to go.
Well, no, you already know about it. You just never heard it called that.
Oh.
Like the people on Twitter who like to get people in trouble for shit they said 10 years ago. And
oh, yeah. Assholes. Got it.
Yeah. So, or this is related to that whole movement. Anyway, so 1986. You had a female protagonist who was very badass.
A strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Yeah. And like there was nothing like there was nothing about like, oh, well, female this and that, and they're you know the or whatever it could have been. She just did really well in the role. It was well done. Nobody cared that she was a woman.
Right. It didn't play into it at all.
It wasn't even a thing.
Everybody was just like, she's a badass woman. Well, that's good. That, man, I'm excited to see it now. And don't make me watch it without you.
Okay, so you want to watch that one together?
I want to watch that one together. Like, that one and the Cloverfield movies, I want us to watch together.
Okay.
The other ones, like, whatever else it ends up being, as long as we watch them, that's the important thing. But I think we should watch the Cloverfield movies and Aliens together.
Okay.
At least get that knocked out.
Alien Resurrection.
And Alien Resurrection. So we have 3 Cloverfield movies and 2 Alien movies to watch.
That's a lot of movies.
That's 5 movies. I thought I was bad at math. I'm just kidding.
5 is a lot.
Well, bring over a bottle of whiskey and I'll cook you a burger.
Oh, shit. It's on. Done.
Done. Dunzo, Washington.
Yeah, so you have in Aliens, 1986, you have what are called colonial marines, and they do such a good job at making them look high-tech and futuristic looking. It's like, you're not going to believe this movie came out in 86.
Really?
Except for, okay, so the way they do, like, off-world deployments and shit is the officer sits in the armored command vehicle in front of a bunch of screens, and the sergeant like leads the actual team into the harmful or into harm's way, and everybody's got helmet cams and shoulder cams and shit, and he commands from all those screens, and they're like these big ass, like, okay, so the screens are actually like that big, and like it's like 1980s fucking
I'm
CCTV.
Picturing it perfectly.
It's like
you could bring up a screenshot of it, and I guarantee you I would know exactly what it looks like before you get it pulled up.
Yep.
I can picture it.
And like, each one of those monitors is like a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that part is the only part that really doesn't fit. But like their armor and their guns and stuff, and like you'll know the sound. Like when they start firing their guns in there, I'm sure you've heard the sound. I mean, it's like it's a very well known weapon fire sound for Aliens. But yeah, man, it's so good, and it's a really famous director. I can't think of his name right now. Ridley Scott, or actually, I think it is Ridley Scott.
I think it's got to be Ridley Scott. Because like I said, I know enough about it that like I'm familiar with like memes and references and stuff, but I've never seen 10 seconds of it.
It's so good, man.
Aliens director. I guarantee you it was Ridley Scott. That rings such a bell. Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Which one
Welcome
did James
to the stream,
Cameron do?
Whoever you are, if you're government official.
James Cameron did the first one.
Back.
No? Who did the first one?
I don't know.
I don't care enough to try and find out.
Oh, right.
Oh, I guess they shared a directing credit, Ridley Scott and James Cameron. Wait, did we have a new streamer? Welcome to the stream. Hi, I'm...
Yeah, you were...
Way behind.
Too busy talking over me trying to greet them.
Annie Slut, back to Bird Box.
Yeah.
Because we went off on an Aliens tangent there. Person in the stream that I was talking over, whatever, letting it go. Person in the stream, have you seen Bird Box yet? We are talking about it.
Hopefully they have, because I put spoilers on the...
Yeah, I saw you add that in there. I really appreciate that. I'm sure they do too. It's a new enough movie. We should probably mention it. I didn't see it just until last Thursday. I think was when we finally got around to watching it. So I'm curious. This is going to sound like I dropped my coffee cup. That's because I did.
Thank God you finished it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not that clumsy. I always finish things before I break them and destroy them.
We lost him.
That's fine. I'm going to pretend like I'm talking to him anyway.
Very good.
But I'm actually talking to you. This is a purely scientific question. Mr. Ryan, you have no kids.
Indeed, sir.
And for
correct.
one, you're fine with this. And two, I would like to thank you for your service in population control. That being said, I am scientifically curious about... Okay, so I got really fucking emotional during the scenes with the kids.
Okay.
Like, I haven't cried during a movie as much as I have this one, maybe ever. And it wasn't full on like sobbing, but I had actual multiple tears stream down my face a couple of different times.
Okay.
And like we talked about earlier, is because of the scenes with the kids, where the kids were in danger, and I feel like my parental instincts were, oh fuck, this child is about to die. That's a bad thing. And at the end, when she like gave them names, and I was like, oh my God, that means so much to them as children. And she's been such a fucking hard ass to these kids. I had those emotional responses. How did you feel about those scenes? Did they do anything for you as someone that doesn't have kids? Is that a stupid ass question?
Well, I've had kids before.
Right.
I've been a stepdad.
Right. That's true. But you are no longer a stepdad.
This is correct. Thank God.
Bullet dodge.
I've actually been a stepdad twice. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
I must not be remembering the second one very
Well,
well.
it was very, very long ago.
Okay.
Like
That's fine.
20, when I was, like 2003.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore in high school, homie.
I was 22.
You know, our 7 years apart doesn't sound like that much now that we're both in our 30s.
Yeah.
But when I was a sophomore in high school and you were 22 and a stepdad, sounds a little bit different.
Yep.
Any slut. So, back to the question.
Did it do anything for me?
Those scenes specifically.
So we'll start with when she finally gave him names, I guess. Not really. It was kind of more of a like, well, it's about fucking time. You know,
I did feel that way also.
you're kind of a bitch for
Yeah.
you know, calling a boy and girl all this time, 5 years. So yeah, if I'm truthfully honest.
Oh, oh, you haven't used that one in forever.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that hurt down in my nuggets. Oh, I hate that so much.
Just so you know, someone said that. Someone used to say that all the time that I know.
God.
What he meant was truly honest.
To be truthfully honest.
Yeah, double honest.
Double honest. Normally I'm just single honest, but I'm going to be real double honest with you right now.
This is extra ultra honest.
Anyway, that guy was stupid.
Yo, God, he was. Not really.
No more than any other scene, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. It's something I was curious about because I'm in tune with myself. I know why I'm getting emotional usually. And I really felt like I was specifically getting emotional during those scenes because I have a couple of kids. I think my subconscious maybe put them in those situations. And I was like, there's a fucking child. Why is it? She's so mad at you that she wants to take off her blindfold and maybe die because you're such a bitch.
Now, okay, so maybe we should talk about the part where they're on the boat. She's telling him that someone's got to look.
Okay, so we should talk about that.
So maybe that one a little
Yeah.
did something for me, like tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. I thought the boy was brave for volunteering. I kind of almost thought
I'm getting a little sad remembering it.
that like she wanted the girl to do it because she didn't like the girl or something. I don't remember why I thought that, but
I can clear that up.
Okay.
If I need to. Do it.
Go for it.
Okay. So at Netflix, whoever directed this did this part expertly.
Okay.
Because they made me think exactly what they wanted me to think.
Okay.
And probably the same for everybody else, because you just said that you thought that way. So they're on the boat, and she tells them, matter-of-factly, under the blanket, someone's going to have to look. And during this entire scene of them on the boat, somebody has to look or whatever, there are flashbacks. And those flashbacks to the previous time give us insight as to where the kids came from. So we had a flashback, and then we found out that basically you found out that the boy was Sandra Bullock's, and the girl was, what was her name? The bigger woman, whatever her name was.
Yeah, I don't remember at all.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. It was like Olivia.
The other pregnant girl.
Olivia or somebody. I don't know. It was the other pregnant one. So the girl was the other pregnant one, and the boy was Sandra Bullock's. And so we find out that that's why when the boy goes, I'll do it, she screams at him, no, I'll pick.
Mm.
And you immediately think it's because that's her son.
Mm-hmm.
Of course she would want the girl to pick. It's a terrible choice to have to make, but of course she would go for the one that's not her kid. But then you go back to the flashback, and you see more about the girl and the other pregnant lady and stuff like that. And then you see the part where the girl eventually chimes in after a long silence. The girl chimes in and says, I'll do it. And you think, because she doesn't like the girl, because that's not her kid, you think she's going to say, okay. But she doesn't. She screams again, I'll pick. And eventually, she can't pick. She can't choose between them at all. She says straight up, nobody's going to look. Because she doesn't love her any less than she loves her own son. And I think that's when she realizes it for herself. Is I love the shit out of both of these things that I hate. Because she does. Like, you find out in the beginning of the movie that she already feels disconnected from her own child before she even has it. Because that's part of her conversation with her sister.
All she wants to do is paint.
Right. She's like, I'm not going to have any connection with this thing whatsoever. I have no desire to have a connection with it. Hence the boy and girl names that they had throughout the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. So, I need to say that I didn't even think about the fact that the boy was hers and the girl wasn't until you just said so. Like, when thinking about that scene under the blanket in the boat, didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that.
Right.
Because
but it didn't occur to you in that context.
Right. And so my feeling or my impression that she did not like the girl as much and wanted the girl to be the one to look was strictly from the emotion of the actors, which I would say is a testament to their ability.
Right. 100%. But I do remember thinking that because that was one of the moments that made me tear up. It was one of the moments that really got me, was when the boy said, I'll do it, and I'll pick. And then you flash back, and then you get to the girl, and like she says under the blanket, okay, do you remember the part I talked about with the rapids? Well, that part's coming up. We'll need somebody to look, and then there's just dead silence. Because the boy already got yelled at, because she said that she would pick. And so there's just silence from everybody. And then the girl finally chimes in and is like, I'll do it. And you think, and I thought she's going to agree. But no, she lost her shit again and was like, I'll pick, damn it, basically. And then she was like, nobody will look. And like that, I was like, oh my God. Like, she does love them both. The kids, for me, were the hardest part of that whole movie. I truly think I would have just not liked that movie at all had it been just a group of adults going through the rapids. Because it would have been some, cliched, like, have to make the sacrifice. Everybody draw straws. Okay. Short straw goes, oh, you have the same length straw as I do. Ha ha. Fucking thing. And then somebody ends up looking and dying and they make it and blah, blah, blah. The fact that there were 2 kids that are roughly the same ages as my kids going through this shit, and me literally thinking, okay, Liam would probably follow instructions just fine. Zoe'd probably be dead. But, like, you know, being a parent with kids that are roughly that age and watching them go through this shit, that's where it got me hard. Because these kids had basically grown up in a house with almost no love. Like, they had been trained from birth to keep their blindfolds on and all that stuff. They would go outside and practice keeping their blindfolds on and go out with mom and dad and on little excursions and stuff. They knew how to do all that from birth. So, to me, it's not unrealistic that the kids would follow instructions and keep their blindfolds on. A lot of people had issues with that.
Yeah, I don't think I have an issue with that.
That was one thing that I heard other people say. Like, they're fucking kids. Like, they're like 5 and 4, 5 and 5, or however old they are. Like, there's no way they're going to listen and keep their blindfolds on. They'd be dead. Well, it addresses that. Like, they trained them from birth because they were born into this life. Man, fucking kids.
Yep, perhaps if I had children, or perhaps if I was still a stepdad, then it would be different.
It would have affected you more.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. We need to be part of the Bearded Beauties group on Twitch.
I think we do.
We're not even part of the Bliss anymore.
No,
doesn't look like.
Not. Which is fair. I mean, when was the last time you talked to Billy?
The other day, I watch Mickey all the time.
Fuck me.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck me. Don't get me wrong. I love Billy and Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still consider Billy a great friend that I haven't talked to in a year and a half. Billy's one of those guys. And Billy, I hope you're watching this. I don't know if you watch any of our stuff. I hope you're watching this.
He doesn't.
You're one of those guys. I haven't talked to you in like a year and a half, man. And if I called you up tomorrow and was like, bro, I need help with this, he'd fucking be there. He'd be late. 100%. But if he's needed, he can be counted on. He'll be there. Especially if I needed to fight somebody.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'd
be like, Billy, this motherfucker looked at me sideways. I'm going to kick his ass. Billy will be like, I'm already at your house.
All you need to say is he was talking shit on Irish people.
Oh, shit.
And Filipino people.
Somebody noticed that I had a red beard and were like, you must be Irish. Irish people suck. And now I got to kick his ass. And Billy's like, I'm waiting for you.
I already kicked his ass.
I'm right here.
Yeah, his ass is already kicked.
His ass is already kicked. You just have some popcorn and chill out, dude. But yeah, I love Billy and Mick. I really wish that I had a chance to talk to or hang out with them more often.
Well, you can watch Mick's stream because Billy's always on there. So you can talk to him both.
That's fair.
That's what I do.
I don't watch Twitch outside of...
Fuck you then.
That's what I said when we started this part of the conversation. Fuck me then. There's so much stuff that I have due to watch on Netflix and Hulu and YouTube that I'm never bored enough to flip to Twitch.
Too much King of the Hill that's available.
I'm almost done with it though, and then I'll have to move on to
Twitch,
rewatching some other shit.
All right, Mr. Kelly, what else?
Okay, so
coming up on an hour.
I did have one other question for you. I wanted to get your opinion on something else. I'm trying to remember what it was now.
Bird Box related?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it was Bird Box related. Man, I just liked it. There were a lot of cliches that, like, they were aware of them. They were like, so like John Malkovich. They were like, okay, So we have a group of people that are banded together in what is basically the apocalypse. Of course, we have to have one dude that's the asshole. And so they did have the cliched asshole. Mm-hmm. But they did it in a good way. They did it so well that you could see why he was an asshole. You could see that it was also just part of his nature and that he wasn't, even though he said mean things, he wasn't 100% mean-spirited. He apologized to Sandra Bullock and offered her a glass of whiskey, and like they had that talk about how big of an asshole he is. Stuff that you don't usually see with assholes. They usually just end up dying, and you're like, fucking finally. But when he died, you were like, oh man, no. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they took these cliches and they flipped them.
What about the drawings?
The drawings.
I thought the drawings were terrifying.
Yes, I agree. Kind of like a send shivers down your spine a little bit. Partially because you knew at that exact moment he's one of them. Like when he started pulling those out, like you see the first drawing when he opens it up, and you're like, he's one of them, and you know it. And he lays them out, and you're like, those are fucking terrifying. Because that's what he sees. We don't see shit. We see leaves moving and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's allowed to see. And he sees this shit.
Because he's mentally ill.
Because he's knucking futs. He puts the birds in the freezer. Poor little birdies. They got out pretty quickly. And they will go on to live a life of a lot more shit before they get to join their friends.
And then, so more on that. So I also wanted to know, why the fuck did the birds freak out when the demons come around? Like, I want to know these things.
Why are the birds allowed to see them and not die? And does that go for every animal? Because I didn't see a whole bunch of, dogs and cats and fish and shit.
I saw none.
Yeah. And normally, you would, like, dogs and cats would be running all over the place. All over the fucking place.
Cats would be hiding, but dogs would be
not necessarily. Like, we're talking days and days and days and years into this. They're going to be hunting around looking for food. They're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They're stray and feral, and they want some foods. So, I don't know, like, can cats and dogs look at it? It's more of the rules that we want to know about. Can cats and dogs see them? If they can, are they affected? Do they die?
See, these are the things that I want.
The birds, I can kind of get, because animals do have that kind of sixth sense of danger. Like, when the weather turns bad and there's a thunderstorm, like, animals know it before anybody else. They'll hunker down in the corner before the storm even gets there. Like, they know that there's something coming. They have that kind of sixth sense. So I'm not surprised that a bird would feel something that we wouldn't detect and freak the fuck out. But it just feels weird that they're the only ones. And I know, like, miners back in the day would, like, carry canaries down into the mine, but it would be so that if the canary actually died, you know it was too toxic to be down there.
And get the fuck out.
Right. I don't know. I feel like we need some Bird Box lore.
Yes. Please. But there's not going to be any.
Well, we don't know that. There could be a sequel.
Doubtful.
Oh, yeah, very doubtful. But there could be. I mean, this has been really successful for them.
Yeah, it's been a hit.
So I could see them making a successful, at least, sequel. I would hope they wouldn't continue it for too long. And ruin it.
Make like 6 of them.
Right.
Like Jaws.
Rename each of them like a different animal and holder.
Cat box.
Elephant enclosure. Dog cage. Cat carrier.
And then, like,
hamster wheel.
Way down the line, animal kennel.
Right. And then the finale is just zoo.
Oh, God.
And it's just a bunch of people trapped in the zoo, and animals freak out anytime the demons get near.
And then a tie-in to zombies.
Oh, God. A tie-in to zombies, and then a Sharknado comes and just takes them all the fuck out.
Oh, shit. Yep. And then a birdemic.
And then there's a birdemic. Because the birds are immune to everything, and it ties all back in.
And with all of the other stuff happening, that's what causes them to explode in fire when they... Yep.
Oh
Mind
my
blown.
god! You're welcome, Netflix.
Yep.
If you're watching this, I should have included you on the Twitter hashtag.
We just made you richer.
Which reminds me, by the way, if you're listening to this, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Severe Cinema and on Facebook, Severe Cinema, and on YouTube, Severe Cinema. And that's all we got, right?
Yep.
And twitch.tv/Severe Cinema. And Patreon, Severe Cinema. We're going to be starting a Patreon soon. We don't have it yet. I'm still getting some final things ironed out. That's an iron? Fuck me. Ironed out. After I get it ironed out, I'm going to start a Patreon. So you guys look out for that. Man, I'm just kind of wrapping up. I guess, are we done?
That's enough. Unless you had, I don't have anything else, but
Nah,
unless
man.
you have like a big chunk of discussion in that head of yours, and we're done.
Ah, that was Bird Box, guys. Thanks for watching and tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube watching or listening to this, thanks for joining in. Like I said, make sure to like and subscribe, and all of those things. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.